man, fresh about the sand. February 10, it's the boy, but I'm still the man. Come and get your mans. I don't know. First you caught their hands, then you took the stand. It's a joke, but you say you real. I don't understand.
Welcome everybody to Off the Cuff. I'm Adam Banks. Thank you for listening to the show. This song is called Can't Have Everything with Drake. Off his new album,
More Life.
Thank you very much. I already forgot it. So, in the studio today, I have Ryan Stanford, a new guy that's never been on the show, but he has a lot of knowledge when it comes to sports. Ryan, thanks for making your first appearance here on Off the Cuff, man. How's it going today?
It is going great, man. It's great to be here. You know, I look forward to blessing you guys with some knowledge.
I appreciate it, man. He is going to bless us with some knowledge. And then we have Josh Bryant, a familiar voice that's been on the show.
Thanks
Josh,
for having me as always.
how's your day going?
Going well, just enjoying a beautiful Saturday here in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah,
So
it is a beautiful Saturday. Well, a lot to get to, and I'm very excited because I get to hear Ryan's takes on some of these topics. And, whenever we have a new voice on the show, it's always more exciting. You know what I mean, Josh?
Of course. It brings new personality to the show.
It does.
Making me blush.
So let just make a big boom right here. Aaron Hernandez, Brian. Aaron Hernandez. I think that it's a story that's very tragic. He was on a team with Tom Brady. He was a Super Bowl champion. He was a multimillionaire, and now, he's dead. He went to prison. It's just a sad story. So, do you think that he did commit suicide?
Yeah, I don't buy into the all the conspiracy theory stuff. I just
What is one, please?
Well, some people are saying that he either was murdered in prison, committed suicide. The story is he committed suicide.
I know
but
that.
the conspiracy theories, as Ryan was saying, was that the cops killed him in prison, that he was murdered in prison.
It's supposed to be a distraction for political agendas and things like that.
But apparently he wrote suicide notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote John 3:16 on his head too, or something.
Yeah, and he also wrote a suicide note to a gay lover. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
Boyfriend in jail.
Yeah, his boyfriend in jail. Of course.
Well, they say jail changes everyone.
They do. So if you was in jail for like 15, 16 years, you don't think so, Josh? You'd go...
No, that's all
Pamela
you're going there. You didn't
Anderson.
get the question out. You can't even get the question out. No, sir.
I would be very, very familiar, with Pamela Henderson.
Jergens on deck.
But yeah, so you don't buy into the conspiracy theories. Well,
No.
I just think it's something that, it's for everybody to learn from the situation. Like, his story is he went to prison because he wanted to murder his wife.
No, he killed a man. Killed Odin Lloyd, which was a semi-pro football player, and he was also after that came out, he was accused of 2 other murders, and then you also had something come out from a guy down in Florida he supposedly beat up and things of that nature. So it was he literally killed a man. Was found guilty of it, Odin Lloyd, and then right after the suicide, or right before the suicide, he was just they found him not guilty of the 2 other murders, and then so. His original conviction for the murder of Odin Lloyd was an appeal. So I think, if anything, it's money related. I don't think it's a conspiracy or anything like that. I think they're looking for, there's a clause in that contract, or in the law in UMass, as far as trying to
We're trying
get
to put
his
on a
kid
show here.
paid.
Calm down.
Yeah, so I'm sorry.
We have a wild fan.
Very good point.
God, off the cuff! Take my panties!
Very good point, Ryan. And so, it is just one of those things, man, that was just very unfortunate. I hope people learn from it, Zach. You know what I mean? Zach Hahn.
Absolutely. If you can't learn from one thing,
Aaron
if
Hernandez.
you can learn from one thing, it's that.
Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, tragic.
Yeah, very tragic.
Tragic.
Very tragic, yeah. If you could sum that up in one word, it'd be tragic.
I think so.
It would be tragic.
Tragic is the one word that I would use to describe it.
The big story here, though, of course, it's not like Aaron Hernandez is not a big story, very sad story, but the big story of what's really happening is the NBA playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the NBA playoffs. Who do you got winning that, Josh? Do you have a champion in mind yet?
I guess Warriors almost. They look like the favorites.
Steph Curry getting a second championship.
So it very well could happen.
So if he gets a second championship, does he go into the conversation of being one of the greats?
Does he go in the conversation of being one of the greats? 2 rings? Is that all it takes now?
Does he go into the conversation? Yeah, I think 2 rings would would make you into the conversation,
No.
especially if you've led the
He
team.
has to continue his 3-point accuracy as well, and
Which he has.
break that record.
Yeah.
And then if he finishes with 2 rings, then I would consider him one of the better ones, one of the best players.
Yeah.
Maybe top 10, top 15.
Karl Malone has 0 rings, and he's one of the greats. So
Yeah.
let's not.
He's got to break some records with that. He
Let's-
can't just get rings with players that are so great.
He has broken a lot of 3-point records. He's not only broken them, he's shattered them. I mean, by like 100 plus.
He has.
But
for
doesn't
single,
he-
for single season?
But he has a gold
But I want
medal.
to see him do it for the whole career.
He will. I mean, he had the ankle issues early on in his
He
career.
looks
but
healthier.
Now that he's beyond that, I think he'll be.
He looks
fine.
much more healthy. But you know what? Kevin Durant's on the team. He's going to show him a thing or two as well.
Yeah,
So,
but
is that who you think is the favorite to win it this year too, Ryan?
the Warriors.
No,
Give it-
I like the Cavs.
you like the
man.
Cavs?
I like the Cavs. I just when you look at the best player on the court when those two players play or those two teams play, I think you're still looking at LeBron James, and I just think. I don't know, man. It's gonna take. It'll be a great series. I mean, they blew it last year, but it'll be interesting to see if it'll be a close one, man. I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors won it, but I think the Cavs right now they've put Deron Williams is a great addition, and he's looked really good off the bench. And I mean they've added a few other pieces, so it'll be interesting.
Well, Ryan, you bring up a good point. I went and saw him live a couple weeks ago, and I saw the biggest comeback in NBA history. Actually,
26 points.
26 points. LeBron scored 40, and it's hard to argue against you. I think the Warriors just, I don't know, they think they're just a little deeper, I guess, than superstars. But, man, they look good. The Cavs look good to meet them there and make it a Game 7.
So you actually got to see LeBron James play live.
He scored 40
I
points.
think he had a triple.
He did.
Does he play
12
better
rebounds,
live?
12 assists. Oh, my gosh.
Does he look better live?
Yeah, he probably
Could you
have
see
had
facial
15
expressions?
He could have had 15, 20 assists, but you know what? Sometimes the player holds the ball too long. Sometimes he takes too many dribbles, and he takes that assist away.
Those guys.
Yeah, well,
So-
I think LeBron James, it's kind of ridiculous and absurd to me that he's not even in the conversation to be MVP. I don't understand
Exactly.
the thing about the MVP. Like, are we not giving it to the best player anymore? I'm confused.
I guess we get tired of greatness.
It's most valuable, and then value in the NBA is wins.
Okay.
And, I mean, I kind of see your point now that I defined that. but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Like LeBron, he's got Kyrie and Kevin Love, and you hate to hold that against him. I would vote for Harden because I think he's solely responsible for. Without Harden, Houston probably doesn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Thunder though, you think without Westbrook, do you think?
No, they wouldn't make the playoffs
Do
either.
you think
but,
they win 20 games without?
well, they'd be right about 20.
How many players do you think that are on Oklahoma that would start for Houston's team without Harden? Do you think any of them would start over any of the starters that are in Houston?
I would start Oladipo over him.
I'd probably start. You could see like
easily.
Oladipo coming off the or starting and Ariza coming off the bench.
Would Steven Adams not start too almost?
Capel's played him.
Yeah.
Can you not? Okay,
Capel's
well,
consistent.
Okay, you
And
just
I mean,
can't play
even
them. You just
Nene
can't play
off
them
the
side
bench.
by side.
Hell, I'd take Nene before I'd take Steven Adams up and down.
Ooh.
I mean, like you never know what you're going to get with
Because
Steven Adams
he had
or
one good
Enes
game.
Kanter.
He had one good game in the playoffs. You take Nene.
It's not
One
just
good
a one
game?
game. He's put a career together.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Probably
simple.
just Oladipo.
14 years in the NBA. I think
So
5 years.
you'd have 1 out of 5 people that you'd start. So I think the Thunder would be worse off without that guy. So when you look at MVP, most valuable player, it's that team, a team that still made the playoffs, even as a 6th seed, that maybe didn't win 50 games, but where would they be? I mean, everyone thought they were going to be down in the dumps without Durant. They make that Ibaka trade. They bring in Oladipo.
What about turnovers? Russell Westbrook gets a lot more turnovers.
Dude, he has to control the ball. He has to dominate the ball.
He's the point guard, right?
Harden gets turnovers too.
Yeah,
but
Westbrook gets more assists. I'm sorry, Harden gets more assists, doesn't he, too?
He brings the
He
ball.
leads the NBA in assists, and Westbrook is a point guard.
Yeah, but you know,
I mean, Harden pretty much played point guard most of the year.
I
Yeah,
know. I
he's-
just like to argue it.
I mean,
I think Harden.
argument there, bro.
Yeah,
Is it?
right.
Because Harden's not a natural point guard like Russell Westbrook, and he's not played it his whole career, and now he averages more assists.
I would say Russell's more of a scoring guard. I wouldn't even say he's more of a natural point guard.
But that's
Honest with
what
you,
the
but-
position he's been playing his
Yeah,
whole life. So is
both-
it not
both
his
of them
natural
are
position
more-
now?
there's a lot of players that are playing positions that they're not really natural to, but they're in those positions because of their body type.
When you look at guys like Harden, Westbrook, LeBron, even Antetokounmpo a little bit. I mean, they
Kawhi
do
Leonard before we mentioned Antetokounmpo.
Kawhi Leonard, sure. They all do so much
fantasy
more
bias.
than than just one thing. I mean, they really don't fit in a traditional position unless they're all just ball handlers.
I agree.
yeah, well,
Mm-hmm.
it's just one of those things. I mean, I think that the MVP should be
Someone who plays both sides of the ball.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
I think it should be Russell Westbrook. I think that he is the best player right now in the NBA. I think that LeBron James, of course, he's one of the greatest of all time. But I think currently playing at his at his level. His season's over. He just lost out of the playoffs.
I just want to
the way he ended the MVP, the way he ended his season, the way he played in the finals, and what he did with a really crappy Oklahoma City team. I just think it should be in the conversation to be MVP over James Harden, even though he's been doing some unbelievable things.
MVP has never won less than 50 games, nor has he broken the turnover record in a single season.
But
that's what Russell Westbrook's going to do.
It's one of those things, like, it's kind of ridiculous that LeBron's not even in the conversation. Because, Josh, you said that people don't want to see it because they're bored. So that's what we're doing now?
We just get tired of it, I mean, after year, and sometimes it's like not disguised as greatness, it's disguised as repetitiveness, something that you just see every day, and you don't see it as something you've just grown used to.
But the best player is the best player. Why are we going on what people want?
He's
to
averaging
see?
career
It should be the
highs
best
and
player
assists and rebounds, and he's not even considered for MVP. Almost.
I would agree with that argument like 9 times out of 10, but this year I think truly the best player is Russell Westbrook, and I think he is,
I agree with that.
in most people's eyes, the front runner and stuff. And I mean, I understand the argument with Harden. I wouldn't be surprised if Harden won. I wouldn't care either way.
Yeah.
But I think when you talk about the records that he broke as far as the turnovers and things like that, also talk about the records that he broke as far as the triple doubles. As like a 6'2", 6'3" point guard.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, even the guard position is overrated. You have so many hybrid players these days and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, the turnovers, it's a lot, but when you have to dominate the ball as much as he did in Oklahoma City to force that offense to move, I mean, I understand the turnovers. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either way. If Harden won it, Kawhi won it, I mean, they're all deserving of it. So
It's unfortunate that all these players are having this great of a season while other players are doing such great things as well. And that goes back to the Harden and Westbrook debate. You know, no one's averaged triple-double in years, but Harden's never a guy that has as many triple-doubles as he had. LeBron's never averaged as many rebounds and assists as he had. All these players are having great seasons while other players are having great seasons. They would win MVP in other seasons.
If Harden won the NBA championship this year, he has to be MVP, right?
Well, I don't think they'd wait that long.
they've already voted.
They did.
Have
So
they?
The vote's already
So
in.
the vote's
Even
already.
before
When did they
Westbrook-
announce it?
I'm not sure exactly when it'd be announced, but I know they've already voted.
But they're changing it because now they have a show this year.
They need to change
Drake's
that vote.
Drake's hosting the show at the
Until
end of the
it's
year.
over.
You know that? Drake's hosting the show
Well,
at the end of
playoffs
the year.
MVP is a separate.
Yeah, so you have a
award.
Finals MVP, and then you have your NBA pretty much regular season awards. So your most improved, yada yada yada. So, but that's all. I mean, based on the regular season, you vote directly after the regular season. So before anybody saw the first round and saw what Harden and Westbrook, did either way, granted Houston's won at this point, like it's already been voted for. So, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised either way if Harden won or Westbrook. So
Both deserving candidates at the end of the day. One maybe more.
I just
than
hope
the
they
other.
don't do a co-MVP. That's such a cop out.
They've never done
yeah.
it before, so
Bullshit.
That'd be terrible.
I'm pretty sure they did that in the
A
NFL
second
one time.
place?
It was like Peyton Manning
Something
and
the
somebody.
NFL would do.
It was like Peyton Manning and Steve McNair or some bullshit like that.
No, somebody's got to win. It's not most valuable players.
Speaking of the NFL, have you been watching the draft?
Yeah.
This is my first time I've ever watched the NFL draft, and I'm not embarrassed to say that. I was going to say it is no surprise to my off-the-cuff audience that I do not watch football that much. I just started getting into college football more and more. I've been watching college football since like 2007.
So that's what Matt Jones does. So
Yeah. Right.
climbing up there,
he,
bro.
he has no idea about
Yeah,
football,
he's
but
like,
yeah. But I have been watching it since 2007. But past couple of years, I find it interesting. Like when I'm watching the NFL draft, I'm like, ooh, I know some of these players. I know who's getting caught up here to the podium. But what I liked is the fact that Chicago Bears took the North Carolina quarterback because it was his hometown. He's coming back, and it was a surprise. He was supposed to be number 8 or 9, but he went number 2. I think it was a great because you know why? You know why they picked him? It was because he throws. And in the NFL, Zach,
That's an important skill for a quarterback.
you have
gotta
to
be able to throw them
you have to throw
balls.
because the NFL is a long passing game. Nobody likes to run. Who wants to run?
Well,
You
you're
wanna
seeing
throw.
that more. It's more of a up tempo. But no, I think that was a terrible move, to be honest with you, because they gave up King's ransom to get a player that they could have gotten in the third.
I think that dude's Jay Cutler 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, they could have got 49ers were going to get Solomon Thomas either way. So you traded, like, I think, like a third or fourth or some crap like that, or 4th and 6th, and then like a future. And I mean, like, why would you give up that for, move up one spot, the 49ers were set on Solomon Thomas. I mean, that had been rumored all along. And every mock draft I've seen pretty much since, like, the season ended. So I just don't know why you would give up that much to move up one position to get a player that. I mean, you just went out and you paid Mike Glennon all this money to come in. You signed, I believe, Mark Sanchez to be your backup. You're not looking great there, but Mike Glennon's young, so give him a few years before you go out and actually, waste all this stuff to get. And then you could have got the guy in the 3rd overall place. You didn't have to, give up much to get, move up one spot. So I'm completely opposite direction with you on that one. I think it's a terrible move by the Bears, which I'm not surprised by that franchise these days.
The Bears. What a franchise to go to. I would be happy to go to a franchise like the Bears.
It's like Oakland.
Yeah.
The old Oakland.
Soldier Field's really cool. I have seen the outside of Soldier Field. It's like like a modern Coliseum.
Yeah.
But then in the inside, they just have crap. And that's on the field product. They haven't been good since they got rid of Lovie Smith.
No, that was such a terrible thing. Fire him after a 10-win season.
I was a little surprised that Deshaun Watson was the 2nd quarterback.
He was the 3rd.
Was he the 3rd?
Mahomes got the Chiefs traded up to get Mahomes, which I thought is a good move. Alex Smith, you saw what this guy's giving you. Mahomes looked great at Texas Tech. Now, granted, everyone looks great at Texas Tech.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Because they're freaking throwing the ball 80 times a game. But
as the resident Chiefs fan on the off the cuff panel here, I got to weigh in on that.
It's not a bad move, though, in my opinion.
I mean, the coaching staff was just raving about Mahomes. They traded up specifically to get him. They were worried that somebody else was going to pick him. And then we got to have somebody to replace Smith. And it's good. I think it'll be good for him to actually. They're going to sit him on the bench for a little while. There's no controversy. But like you said, Texas Tech has just had quarterback after quarterback after quarterback come out that looked great in college because they were throwing for 500 yards a game on 60 attempts. And I can't think of one of them that's panned out. I mean, like Kingsbury maybe was the best one. And what did he do in the NFL? Nothing.
No, yeah, Graham Harrell. I mean, it's been quarterback after quarterback there. But no, I think Mahomes, I don't know. And teams are desperate for quarterbacks these days because you don't see the same quality quarterback depth you used to see maybe 10 years ago. So, I mean, you reach on quarterbacks that you wouldn't have reached on. But, I mean, like, that's I think all three were lucky enough to come into a situation. Besides Watson, I think he's going to overcome Savage pretty quickly, which I think Watson's going to be a really good player there. But, the other two quarterbacks at least came into situations where they can sit back. Mahomes can sit behind Smith, and Trubisky can sit behind Mike Glennon for a year. So
I don't even see that lasting a year. I think Trubisky has to be starting by week 8.
Marinate in the system, or so.
Let's talk about Kentucky football for just a second. Do you think any of those players from the team are going to go into the draft? I mean, we're still not completely finished. I think we still got 2 more rounds to go currently in live time.
Yeah. I don't follow it. I was going to give you a hot take about the whole draft thing's a big circus. I mean, I like the NFL. The draft's just overblown. But has Toth not been drafted yet?
Not yet.
No.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah. Boom would be the other guy. We'll see guys get taken up.
What was he first team All SEC center?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he's been snatched up yet. But I mean, even these guys will get picked up as undrafted guys. And I mean, if you're good enough to play, even as an undrafted person, you'll be able to go in there and show out. So. I think, I'm really cheering for Boom. I think it was a bad decision to leave just because the running back class was so deep this year.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't blame him either. We've used and abused that man for a few years here until last year when we got Benny Snell coming along. So I wish him the best. But, yeah, it's going to be that class is deep, so I wouldn't be surprised if he goes undrafted, but he'll get picked up.
It's going to be tough for Boom to it's a harsh reality after the draft's over and you haven't been drafted. I mean, what do you do? Where do you go from there? Do you just try to get picked up by another team, a practice team?
You train. There's some other leagues you can play in. I mean, it's not like minor leagues like baseball or basketball have, but you can play
arena football.
Boom would be the type of player that'd be good in arena, I think, but the money's not great.
Well, not just that. I mean, but your NFL teams are allowed to have, I believe, 90 players on their roster up until a certain point. So you bring in. Every team will go out and sign 4 or 5 undrafted free agents, and they'll bring them in just to see what they have and to test them. So, I mean, if he goes in there and he shows out, which, I mean, he's going to contribute on special teams, I believe. He'd be, with that speed, he could be a good gunner. He could return some kicks. And, I mean, he could, maybe be a specialty guy. So, I don't think he's going to get picked up as an undrafted guy, no doubt. I'd be willing to bet my next paycheck on that.
Absolutely, man. I think that I'd like to see more Kentucky players get in there. I think next year, we're going to probably have a little bit more conversation about the NFL draft with Kentucky players. I think that, just looking at some of the players that are currently on the roster, I could see My dude Mike Edwards getting looked at in the
Edwards
draft.
solid.
Yeah, I could definitely see
well,
that.
Safeties are going. I mean, literally, safeties are flying off the board this year because a lot of those guys end up, if they don't pan out to be, anything on defense, they're at least contributing on special teams because they're used to kind of, safeties are flying off the board this year.
And Benny Snell. He's just raw. I love Benny Snell. He just runs right through everybody.
It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, man. So there'll be a lot more conversation. Well, Zach, it's great to have you, man.
Come popping in mid-show.
Pop in mid-show, man. The mid-show.
I had no idea you guys were on the air.
It's the mid-show.
Just having to walk by the studio on this beautiful day.
Yeah, and you were like, I wonder what they're doing in there. And then you walk in, we're recording.
Well, I'm a friend of the show. I can go in there and find out.
We work weekends here too.
And look, you became a part of the panel.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah, is this a panel?
Need more panel.
It's
a panel. If we were on a cable news network, we would all have our own little box.
Mm-hmm.
And one of us would be in the top right corner, one of us in the top.
But would it be
left.
Fox News or CNN? I mean, that's the big question here. I don't know. I think if it's up to Adam, we'd be Fox News.
Probably.
I think the other three in the group are picking CNN.
It depends on whether we have one
MSNBC,
one token liberal or one token conservative.
Man. Speaking of Fox News, let me do this.
We got 5 more minutes left.
Let me bring this up really quick. Bill O'Reilly Bill O'Reilly got fired from Fox News.
He deserved it.
He did. He got
He
fired.
did deserve it.
And it's just crazy. Like when you watch, it's still called The Factor. It's not called the O'Reilly Factor, but they still call it The Factor. So they've removed his name. So when it comes on every night, The Factor comes on, and he's not there. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, it's crazy. This man for years built this program up, created it. It was his program, and they just removed him.
Well, yeah.
And call it The Factor. And it's weird to watch Fox News without Bill O'Reilly.
I hope he goes to CNN and says, fuck you, Fox News.
He will get picked up by another network.
No doubt.
And I will say that if I was ever going to have a show on like cable TV, I would call it the Adam Banks Show, because you can't replace the Adam Banks Show with another.
They just call it the show then.
Yeah, they just call it the show. It would just be called the show.
The show.
The Banks Factor.
The Banks Factor. I mean, yeah, so
yeah,
that's how it would go. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening to the show. I want our producer to chime me out with some more Drake.
Yeah,
if
I think
he can
he
get it
might be
going.
ready.
Yeah, is he ready?
More Drake?
Yeah, more Drake.
Well, we're out of Drake.
So, what do you have then?
Well, you just got music.
What is this? I'm about to start rapping for stupid.
Terrible. Ed Sheraton, Shape of You.
No, that's not what it is.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on the next episode of Off the Cuff.
Adam Banks loves this song, by the way.
Off the Cuff is filmed in front of a live studio audience.